I am older than your stories, quieter than your cameras, and sharper than the river's memory. You call me monster, relic, dinosaur. I call myself what the sun carved and the water kept, crocodile. Step into my world, slowly. I punched my way out of a mottled shell into air that smelled like hot mud and dragonflies. The nest was a low hill of rotting grass and reeds, a warm compost pile my mother built with her jaw and patience. The day I hatched, rain rattled the leaves like a drumline. My siblings squeaked. We were no bigger than your forearm, but our mouths already hinged like secrets. My mother carried us one by one between her teeth, a cradle made of knives. You think tenderness cannot live in a mouth like mine? You are wrong. She slid us into a pocket of still water and hovered above with only nostrils and eyes exposed, 2 coins on the surface of the world. All babies are hungry. Ours also came with an ancient to-do list written into bone. Don't waste heat. Don't waste motion. Learn the river's moods. Remember where the fish ambush themselves. Find the water, and you'll find me. Rivers that fold back on themselves like sleeping snakes. Lakes that wear the sky as a shore. Swamps that talk in bubbles. Mangroves with laced roots that hold the shoreline together, the way a grandmother holds the family. This place is not a postcard. It is a system of bargains. The sun burns, the water cools. The flood gives, the drought takes. The bank collapses, the reeds start over. I own nothing, but I know everything that touches my skin. The pressure of a tilapia's tail through the water, a dozen body lengths away. The groan of a canoe pole pushing mud. The lightning flash wingbeak of a kingfisher drilling the surface and leaving a hole that closes like an eye. My body is a map of solutions. Scoots that sip sunlight, lungs that let me sink like a stone or sit in the thermocline like a thought, a heart with a secret shunt that knows how to reroute oxygen when there is work to do and no time for breath. You think I am still when I float. I am not. I am measuring. I float with my back, just breaking the water, an island the size of a backpack, and count the ripples of you. I learn your rhythm. Everyone has one. Fish pulse, heron stalks, buffalo stamp like slow thunder, human oars clack, clack, clack. My eyes are lenses, time, but not time. I can't find my head. I can't say anything. If you want to disappear, don't move. If you want to hunt, don't look like you are. Silence is my camouflage. So is patience. Patience is not waiting. Patience is moving one atom at a time until the distance between your teeth and your future is 0. You have numbers for my bite force. I have uses. It is not just crushing. It is editing. I remove the unnecessary, distance, caution, hesitation. When I commit, I do not argue. I close the case. But most days I do not bite. I open my mouth and let heat evaporate from pink membrane, a lazy grin the sun can read like a diary. My jaw is a tool, and tools are not for show. I prefer ambush to chase. Chasing is for those who have time to be wrong. I wait for a shadow to break the right way. I align the notch of my snout with the notch of chance. Then I tilt the world. The splash is not sound so much as punctuation, an exclamation point you feel through your feet. I have eaten fish whose scales glittered like stolen coins. I have eaten crabs that wrestled my gums as if bargaining. I have swallowed water birds whole, their feet still paddling against the idea of me. I have taken a leg from a careless antelope and left the rest to hyenas and the philosophy of recycling. I have gnawed a melon blown down river from someone's farm, because even a crocodile likes a surprise. Do not mistake me for chaos. I am an accountant of calories. Cold blood is a cheap apartment. I can live on little. I eat as if the river might turn to glass tomorrow. Sometimes it does. Drought lays the mud bare, cracks it like old pottery, and all mouths and the floodplain count the weeks. I bury myself in coolness, slow the heart to a quiet metronome. Let dust settle on the idea of me. I don't know why, said Wallace. Then the first fat raindrops arrive, each one a drumbeat. The river remembers itself, and so do I. My teeth are not sentimental. They fall out. New ones slide in, white and ready, like a row of replacements waiting backstage. I have worn through more teeth than you will have birthdays. The mouth does not mourn. It simply continues. You call it terrifying. I call it maintenance. Scars accumulate. There is the thin silver line from a rival's tooth when we both wanted the same hot sand. There is the puckered rim where a fisherman's hook taught me that glitter is not always bait and that pain can be an exit sign. I keep the lessons and leave the anger to species that can afford it. You imagine me solitary. Mostly true. The river is big because we are. But we are not alone in our aloneness. In nesting season, a female becomes a weather system. She builds a mound out of decaying plants that warms itself from the inside, an alchemical pile that breathes. She guards it with the unblinking calm of a lighthouse. When the time is right, she listens for the inside voices, the squeaks that say, I am ready to be a crocodile. She lifts the lid of the earth with her jaw, gentler than rain. Males bellow in a low note that makes the surface shiver into tiny crowns. We advertise not just size but location, the way a volcano advertises home. Sometimes we fight. It is not heroic. It is geometry, angles, leverage, the calculation of retreat. Even winners bleed. Even losers survive. The river wants us both. You call me crocodile. I answer to the temperature of the sun, the taste of tannin in the floodwater, the far-off tremor of hooves turning a bank into soup. When the thunderheads stack over the horizon, and the first cold wind strokes the tips of the grass, I raise my head just above the surface, to smell tomorrow arriving. I have always been preparing for it. This is my world. Silt and scale, heat and calculation, patience braided with muscle. If you learn to breathe like I do, slowly, through a straw of self-control, perhaps you would see what I see. Not a monster hidden in green, but a design that fits the water like a key. And if you listen closely, to the tiny crowns the river makes when I bellow, to the hush of my slide off the bank, to the sudden silence when the fish finally understand, it sounds like an old truth you already know. Be still. Notice. Then move with purpose.